Before the video begins, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, my guy, Ether Art. Now, Ether Art is a new YouTuber. He just made his YouTube channel not too long ago. And what he does on his channel is he creates sports art of several sports athletes. Like he's done Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, Michael Jordan from The Last Dance, and several San Francisco 49ers players, right? Now, in the background, this is from one of his videos when he recorded himself drawing Jameis Winston, which is the drawing that he sent me a couple of days ago. Now, this drawing is really dope. I love Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is my favorite NFL player of all time. Now, he drew him in the New Orleans Saints uniform with his updated jersey number. And this drawing is probably going to be put in a frame. And I'm going to end up hanging this up in the background for the rest of my YouTube career. So make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to Ether Art. Link to his channel is down in the comment section and the description down below. Now on to the video. Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the NFL going into the 2020 NFL season. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me. They're probably going to be like, oh, JT, you guys went 8-8, man. You guys didn't even make it to the playoffs. The Steelers went 8-8 with the fourth-string quarterback and Devlin Duck Hodges, who, remind you, wasn't even on the initial 53-man roster when the 2019 season began. He was on the practice squad. Mike Tomlin was able to win games with him, right? Most coaches, when their starting quarterback goes down, they can't even win games with their backup quarterback. And Mike Tomlin was able to win games with the fourth-string quarterback. That is extremely hard to do. Not only was his star quarterback injured and Ben Roethlisberger, but Juju Smith-Schuster was injured, their number one wide receiver going into the season, and James Conner was injured. Both of those guys, key players on the offensive side of football, missed a significant amount of the 2019 season due to injuries. So you're without three of your best players on the offensive side of football, and yet you still find out ways to stay in playoff contention and finish the season off 8-8. When Pittsburgh started the season out 1-4, Pittsburgh could have easily said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and tank. We're going to go ahead and find our quarterback of the future and aim for the playoffs next year. But no, Mike Tomlin said, no, we're not going to lie down for nobody. This team is going to compete. And that's what Pittsburgh was able to do. When everybody said the Steelers season was over, Pittsburgh surprised everybody. And they somehow managed to stay afloat in the playoffs. Not a lot of coaches in the NFL can even win with their backup quarterbacks. Not everybody has a Teddy Bridgewater as their backup quarterback sitting on the bench like Sean Payton had last year. Not everybody has a great backup situation. So you got Pittsburgh, who Big Ben gets injured. Then Mason Rudolph gets knocked out by Earl Thomas. So then you got to put in Doug Hodges. And then, yet, even with Doug Hodges, you're still in playoff contention. Now, I don't care what people say about the Steelers' schedule and things like that. I don't care if people say it was hard or it was easy and things like that. You guys tell me how many coaches can win with the state of the Steelers roster last season on the offensive side of football. Because the defense was great, but the offense couldn't score any points. The offense barely was able to score and scrape and even put 3 points on a field goal. It was really hard to see a Steelers drive get inside the red zone. And even when they did get inside the red zone, they were coming away with field goals most of the time instead of touchdowns. It's really hard to win that way in this day and age of the NFL. But yet Mike Tomlin still found the way to do it, despite missing some of his best players. So, I mean, not only that, he missed some key players on the defense side of football. Javon Hargrave missed some games. Stephon Tuitt missed some games. So, I mean, the Steelers suffered a pretty significant amount of key injuries to their core starters. And yet Mike Tomlin still found a way to keep this Pittsburgh Steelers afloat in the playoff race. Now, Mike Tomlin, in all honesty, should have won NFL Coach of the Year last year. But the only reason he didn't win was because the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't make it to the playoffs. I still felt he still should have won it. Because when you think about it, not a lot of teams can do what Mike Tomlin did last year. Ask Matt Patricia in Detroit how hard it is to win without his starting quarterback in Matthew Stafford. Ask Adam Gase how hard it is to not only win without his starting quarterback, but his backup quarterback. He had to try to win games with Luke Falk at quarterback, his third string quarterback. And he couldn't even do it. The games weren't even close when Luke Falk was the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. So, I mean, Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the NFL coming into this season. Now, of course, you're going to have your Bill Belichick's of the world. You're going to have your Andy Reid's and things like that. But when you look at what Mike Tomlin had to do last year for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that really, in all honesty, should have never even had no business winning 8 games. That Steelers team, once Big Ben got injured, once Juju got injured, once James Conner got injured, once they started to suffer some injuries to their core starters, they should have won 4 to 5 games last year. But yet, Mike Tomlin still found a way to pull a rabbit out of his butt and make sure that this Steelers team was competitive. And Mike Tomlin has been heavily criticized over the years for underachieving. But yet, this was probably 2019 was his best job as an NFL head coach in his whole entire career. That is really impressive. Not a lot of coaches can do that. Not a lot of coaches can accomplish and even stay in playoff contention the way Mike Tomlin was able to. And it wasn't easy. Mike Tomlin and that Steelers team won a lot of one-possession games. That's what separates the elite coaches from the great coach. The elite coaches from the bad coaches or the average coaches. The elite coaches can win despite how many injuries they have, despite who isn't playing. Despite even all odds being stacked against them, they still find ways to win. They find ways to win the close one-possession games. The average coaches, the bad head coaches, they can't do that. They can't win without their starters. They can't win one-possession games. But Mike Tomlin was able to do that. And I don't think you can just brush it off as like, oh, it was an easy schedule. Because during that stretch, the Pittsburgh Steelers played some really good teams. I mean, you played the Colts when the Indianapolis Colts were basically considered one of the best teams in the AFC at the time of the season. A lot of people were really high on the Indianapolis Colts with Jacoby Brissett, right? So you're looking at the Indianapolis Colts team that at that point when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers during that point in the season, that was fairly good. You're talking about the LA Rams team that was pretty good as well during that point in the season, right? So, I mean, let's not just overplay the Pittsburgh Steelers winning 8 games because they didn't have all that great of a schedule. Because if it was the other way around and Pittsburgh didn't win 8 games, a lot of people would be flipping the argument and saying that Mike Tomlin is only a good coach because he gets carried by talent and things like them. So don't try to come down in the comment section and try to use that to your advantage, because a lot of people could easily flip the narrative and say that with that schedule, Mike Tomlin should have won more games, right? Pittsburgh had no business last year winning 8 games. No business. But the reason why was because they had Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin proved to be not only one of the best coaches in the NFL, but the best coach in the NFL. You see, a lot of people overlook coaching. Coaching matters. Matt Patricia couldn't win with several of his starters being injured. Mike Tomlin could. Adam Gase couldn't win without Sam Darnold. Mike Tomlin could win without Ben Roethlisberger. Mike Tomlin is going to be the reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers make the playoffs this upcoming NFL season. Not Ben Roethlisberger coming back, not Juju Smith-Schuster fully healthy and James Conner fully healthy and things like that, but because of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, not only last year did he prove he was an elite coach, but he proved he was the best coach in the NFL. Because not a lot of coaches could do what Mike Tomlin did. When the cards were stacked against the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin said, we're going to fight. Mike Tomlin says, we're not going to tank. We're not going to lay down for nobody. As long as I'm the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, putting on that black and gold, you can expect 110% every week out of Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's what you got out of Mike Tomlin. A lot of coaches will fold in Mike Tomlin's shoes. That's what makes Mike Tomlin the best coach in the NFL. It's not a lot of coaches that can scheme up a way to win without several key starters. I mean, I've just never seen it done before ever in my whole all my years watching football. And I haven't been on this work that long, but I'm pretty sure not a lot of coaches in NFL history have been able to accomplish what Mike Tomlin accomplished last season. Mike Tomlin is a great leader. He is a great motivator of men. The players love playing for him. And you saw that last year. Every snap, the Steelers players gave Mike Tomlin their all. Their energy. In late game situations, when it looked like everything was unlikely, when it looked like the Steelers were going to lose, the Steelers still fought back. They fought back against the Miami Dolphins. And that Monday night game, when it looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to lose to the Miami Dolphins, and still Pittsburgh was able to claw back into that game. A lot of games Pittsburgh won last year with any other head coach in the NFL other than Mike Tomlin, they would have lost. Mike Tomlin was the best coach in the NFL last year. He should have won Coach of the Year. Not a lot of coaches can say they were able to do what Mike Tomlin did. That is a credible achievement. And that is why Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the NFL going into the 2020 NFL season. Comment your thoughts down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.